Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that honestly sounds like it's straight out of sci-fi.
Oh, yeah.
AI agents.
Okay.
You know, AI that doesn't just chat, but actually, does things out there in the real world.
That's right. Think less like chatbot and more like having your own super-powered personal assistant that can actually learn and adapt.
And get this, we're not just theorizing here. We've got excerpts from a brand new MIT research paper
Oh, cool.
called the AI Agent Index, and it's the first public database tracking these agents in the wild, 67 of them to be exact.
67. Wow, that's fascinating stuff. It really highlights how AI is moving beyond just, generating text or images to actually planning and executing these complex tasks with very minimal human intervention.
Okay, I have to admit that's both super cool and a little bit intimidating. So before we get too deep, let's make sure we're all on the same page here.
Okay.
What exactly makes these AI systems agentic?
Well, even the researchers admit there's no single universally agreed-upon definition of an AI agent.
Right.
But this paper lays out 4 key characteristics
Okay.
that we can look for.
All right, give me the rundown.
So first, there's something called underspecification.
Underspecification.
Imagine you're telling a self-driving car to get me to the grocery store. You don't need to specify the route, the speed limits, how to handle traffic lights. The car figures all that out on its own.
Oh, okay.
That's underspecification in action.
So you just give the AI agent a goal and it figures out the how by itself.
Exactly. And that leads us to the next characteristic, direct impact. These agents aren't just spitting out information or, just suggestions. Their actions have real-world consequences.
So it's not just suggesting code. It could actually write and execute that code, potentially changing software directly.
Precisely. That's a key difference between these agents and the AI systems we've seen in the past. They're capable of directly impacting the digital and even physical world around them.
Okay, that's both impressive and a little unnerving.
Yeah.
What's the third characteristic we should be looking for?
So the third one is goal-driven. These AI agents act as if they're pursuing an objective. Even if it's just code, it can feel a little spooky to think about an AI system actually having a goal, right?
It definitely blows the lines a bit. It's like they're taking on a life of their own.
Right.
Even if it's all just algorithms under the hood.
Exactly. And flippantly, we have long-term planning. Think of it like this. They can think ahead, make plans, and carry them out step by step, much like a project manager, just much faster and potentially more capable.
So they're not just reacting to immediate stimuli, they're thinking strategically and working towards a bigger goal.
Right.
Okay, now that we understand what makes an AI agent agentic, let's peek under the hood and see how these remarkable systems actually function.
Okay.
What's powering them?
Well, most of these agents are built on top of what are called existing foundation models. These are those incredibly powerful language models that you've probably been hearing so much about.
Right.
They're like the building blocks of these agents,
Yeah.
providing the basic language understanding and generation capabilities.
Right? But if they're built on these existing models, what makes them different from, say, a really advanced chatbot?
That's where those extra layers come in.
Okay.
One key layer is reasoning and planning, which often involves something called chain of thought prompting.
Chain of thought prompting. That sounds intense.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Imagine you're teaching a child to bake a cake.
Okay.
You wouldn't just tell them to bake a cake. You'd break it down into smaller steps. First gather the ingredients, then preheat the oven, then mix the batter, and so on.
Okay.
Chain of thought prompting is kind of like that. It's about teaching the AI to think in logical steps to break down complex tasks into smaller, more manageable pieces.
Interesting. So it's not just about giving the AI access to information. It's about teaching it how to think like us, in a way.
Exactly. Then there's the memory layer. These agents can store information both within the model itself and externally.
So it's kind of like how humans learn from past experiences and store information for future use.
That's a great analogy. And this allows them to learn and adapt over time, remembering past experiences and using that knowledge to inform future actions.
Makes sense. So they're getting smarter and more efficient the more they do.
Right. And last but not least, they have tools at their disposal.
Tools.
We're talking APIs, access to databases, the ability to interact with other software. It's like giving them a whole toolkit to work with, which makes them incredibly versatile and powerful.
So they're smart, they can learn, and they've got a ton of tools. What's fascinating is how much of this is open source.
Yeah.
The paper mentions that almost 50% of the agents in the index have publicly available code.
It's true, and that has huge implications. It means anyone with the skills can see how they're built and potentially even contribute to their development.
Wow.
It's a whole new world of collaborative AI development.
Speaking of development, the paper points out that these agents are popping up fast. Half of the 67 agents they found were deployed just in the last 6 months of 2024.
There's a huge amount of investment and interest in this field, and it's moving at an incredible pace.
It's like a gold rush, but for AI agents. And it's no surprise that the US is leading the charge with a whopping 45 out of 67 agents, although China, the UK, and Israel are also in the game. But let's get to the really exciting part. What are these agents actually doing out there in the world?
Now that we've laid the groundwork, we can dive into some specific examples. The index categorizes these agents based on their application domains, and by far the biggest category is software engineering.
Software engineering, so these AI agents are writing code.
A full 37% of these agents are busy helping to write code, fix bugs, and potentially even design whole software systems. And another 37% are dedicated to what the paper calls computer use, basically interacting with your computer on your behalf, automating tasks, browsing the web. The possibilities are endless.
Wow, so that's 74% focused on software and computer use alone. What about the remaining 26%? What are they up to? That's a great question. So we've got the majority of these AI agents tackling software engineering and computer use, but what about the other 26%? What kinds of things are they doing?
The remaining agents are spread across a few other fascinating areas. We have what are called universal agents. These are the general-purpose problem solvers like OpenAI's mysterious O1. There's not much information available about these yet, but they have the potential to be incredibly versatile.
Ooh, universal agents. That sounds intriguing, like the ultimate AI multi-tool. And then there are the research assistant agents, right? The ones designed to help scientists with their work.
Exactly. These agents can help scientists analyze data-run experiments and potentially even discover new insights that humans might miss. Imagine an AI agent sifting through massive data sets, identifying patterns and correlations that would take human researchers years to uncover. The potential for accelerating scientific breakthroughs is huge.
Wow, AI speeding up scientific discovery. That's incredible. But there's one more category that we touched on earlier that I'm particularly interested in: robotic control AI agents directing physical robots in the real world. That's where things start to feel really sci-fi.
It's definitely an area with both immense potential and significant challenges. While the paper doesn't go into great detail here, the possibilities and the risks are pretty mind-blowing.
All right, so we got this broad overview of what AI agents are capable of, but I think it would be helpful to dive into some specific examples to really understand what they're doing out there in the wild. The AI Agent Index actually profiles 67 real-world AI agents, right? Let's meet some of these digital pioneers.
Absolutely. Let's get specific. Since software engineering is the largest application domain, let's start there. One that caught my eye is Microsoft's Magentic 1.
Magentic 1, catchy name. What makes this one stand out from the crowd?
Well, firstly, it's not just one AI doing everything. It's a multi-agent system, meaning it has a whole team of specialized agents working together under the control of an orchestrator agent.
Hold on, it's like a little AI company with different departments.
That's a great way to think about it. Each of these sub-agents has a specific role: a web surfer for browsing and interacting with websites, a file surfer for managing files, a coder for well coding, and even a computer terminal agent.
Wow, they really thought of everything. So what can this dream team of AI agents actually do?
Magentic 1 is designed for what the paper calls ad hoc open-ended tasks. Things like browsing the web, handling files, writing and executing code. Basically all the things a good software engineer does, but potentially much faster and more efficiently. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Microsoft has released the code for Magentic 1 as part of their AutoGen project on GitHub.
That's pretty amazing. Does that mean anyone can download it and start using it? Are there any potential risks in making something this powerful open source?
That's a valid concern. While open source development can foster incredible collaboration and innovation, it also raises questions about potential misuse. It's a double-edged sword, and it highlights the complex challenges we face as these technologies become more accessible.
Okay, so Magentic 1 is clearly a powerful example of what AI agents can do in the software engineering realm. What about those computer use agents? Any interesting characters there?
One that comes to mind is Meta's Shepherd.
Shepherd, as in herding sheep. I'm picturing little digital sheep running around on my computer screen.
Not quite sheep, but it does involve guiding or shepherding the behavior of other AI agents. It was designed specifically to manage and coordinate the actions of multiple agents, kind of like an AI overseer.
So we've got AI managing other AI now. That's getting pretty meta.
Exactly. Shepherd can observe the actions of other agents, understand their goals, and even step in to correct their behavior if necessary, ensuring they're working safely and effectively. It's a fascinating example of how we're starting to build systems for managing the increasing complexity of these AI ecosystems.
It's like the next level of automation, not just automating tasks, but automating the management of those automated tasks. All right, so we've got our brilliant software engineer Magentic 1 and our responsible AI babysitter Shepherd. Any other AI agents we should meet before we move on?
If we're talking about pushing the boundaries of what AI agents can do, we can't ignore Google DeepMind's RoboCat.
Okay, I knew we'd get to robots eventually. Tell me more about this RoboCat. What makes it special?
RoboCat is a fascinating example of an AI agent designed for something called embodied learning in robotics.
Embodied learning? That sounds pretty high tech. What does that mean in the context of robots?
It means that RoboCat learns by interacting with the physical world through a robot. It's not just crunching data in a virtual environment. It's actually getting its robotic hands dirty, so to speak.
So it's learning by doing just like humans do when we're trying to master a new skill. What kinds of things can RoboCat learn to do?
RoboCat has demonstrated some pretty remarkable capabilities. It can learn new tasks by watching demonstrations from humans or other robots, and it can even adapt to changes in its environment. Imagine a robot that can not only perform a task, but also learn how to do it better over time, even if the environment changes unexpectedly.
That's incredible. It's like having a constantly learning, constantly improving robotic assistant. But all this talk about robots learning and adapting brings us back to those safety concerns. What kind of safeguards are in place for something like RoboCat?
That's a great question, and unfortunately the answer is not entirely clear. Remember how we discussed earlier that less than 20% of the agents in the index had any kind of formal safety policy documented?
Yeah, that was a pretty alarming statistic. Are you saying RoboCat is one of those agents without clear safety guidelines?
Unfortunately, it seems that way. There's limited information available publicly about the specific safety measures implemented in RoboCat's development and deployment.
So we have this incredibly adaptable robot AI out there learning and interact with the physical world, and we're not even sure what kind of rules it's operating under. That's a little unsettling, to say the least.
It definitely highlights the urgent need for greater transparency and accountability in the development of these increasingly powerful AI systems. We can't just be dazzled by the technological advancements without also considering the potential risks and ensuring appropriate safeguards are in place.
Okay, so we've met our star software engineer Magentic One, our responsible AI babysitter Shepherd, and our potentially rogue RoboCat. That's quite a cast of characters. Where does this leave us in terms of those bigger questions about the future of AI agents? So we've explored what these AI agents are, how they work, and even met a few of them out in the wild.
Right.
We've seen these incredible things they can do, writing code, managing other AI, even learning physical tasks like through robots.
Yeah.
But we've also uncovered some unsettling truths about the lack of transparency and safety measures around these powerful systems.
It's a classic double-edged sword scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
We're on the brink of this technological revolution, but we need to tread carefully to make sure these advancements benefit humanity and don't harm it.
Exactly. So for this final part of our deep dive, I think it's time to grapple with the bigger picture here.
Okay.
The potential benefits and risks of these agentic AI systems.
Right.
And what all of this means for us.
That's the million-dollar question, and it's one that everyone needs to be thinking about, researchers, policymakers, and everyday people like you and me.
Okay, so let's start with the potential benefits.
Okay.
What could these AI agents do for us, for society, for the world? Paint me a picture of a future where AI agents are a force for good.
All right, well, imagine a world where all those mundane tasks are automated,
Okay.
freeing up human time and energy for more creative and fulfilling pursuits. We're talking about a world with increased productivity and efficiency across the board, where AI agents handle everything from scheduling appointments to managing complex projects.
Okay, so no more spending hours sorting through emails or trying to figure out the best route to that new restaurant across town. Sign me up.
Right.
But it sounds like this goes way beyond just personal tasks.
Absolutely. Think about the potential impact on industries like healthcare.
Okay.
AI agents could help diagnose diseases more accurately, personalize treatment plans, and even assist with complex surgical procedures, leading to better health outcomes for everyone.
It's like having a team of super intelligent doctors working around the clock to ensure we're all getting the best possible care. That's pretty amazing.
And that's just one example. Think about education AI agents could provide personalized tutoring, adapting to different learning styles, and making quality education more accessible to people all over the world.
Wow. A world with personalized education tailored to each student's needs that could revolutionize learning. Okay, so increased productivity and efficiency across various industries is a huge potential benefit. What else should we be excited about?
There's also the incredible potential for scientific breakthroughs.
Okay.
Remember those research assistant AI agents we discussed earlier? Imagine them working alongside scientists, sifting through massive data sets, identifying patterns, and helping to accelerate discoveries across a wide range of fields, from medicine to climate change.
It's like giving every scientist a superpowered research partner that could lead to solutions for some of the most pressing problems facing humanity. Okay, I'm definitely starting to see the upside here.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic, there are potential downsides too, right? We can't just ignore the risks.
Absolutely not. It's crucial to acknowledge and address the potential risks, especially as these AI agents become more powerful and autonomous. One major concern is the potential for job displacement.
Okay.
As AI agents become more capable of performing tasks that were previously done by humans, there's a real risk that many jobs could become automated.
That's a valid concern, and it's not just about the loss of jobs, it's about the potential for increased economic inequality and social unrest if we don't find ways to adapt to this changing landscape.
Right. It's a complex issue that requires careful consideration and planning. We need to start thinking now about how to prepare for a future where AI plays a significant role in the workforce.
So job displacement is a big one. What other risks should we be thinking about?
Another major concern is the potential for misuse or even malicious use of AI agents.
Okay.
Imagine these powerful technologies falling into the wrong hands and being used for harmful purposes, like spreading misinformation, conducting cyber attacks, or even controlling autonomous weapons.
That's a chilling thought. The potential for AI to be used for harm is a real concern.
Yeah,
But it sounds like the risk isn't just limited to intentional misuse.
exactly. Even with the best intentions, there's always the possibility of unintended consequences. AI agents operate based on the data they're trained on and the algorithms they're programmed with. They don't possess the same moral compass or understanding of human values that we do.
So it's like giving a powerful tool to someone who doesn't fully understand the implications of how it might be used. Things could go wrong even if there's no malicious intent. It seems like we're at a crucial crossroads with both incredible potential benefits and very real risks on the horizon.
We are indeed. The future of AI agents and perhaps the future of humanity itself depends on how we navigate this uncharted territory.
Okay, so what can we do? What steps can we take to ensure that these powerful technologies are used responsibly and for the benefit of everyone, not just a select few?
That's the question we all need to be asking ourselves, and it's one that doesn't have easy answers. But I think there are a few key things we can focus on. First and foremost, we need to prioritize transparency and accountability in AI agent development.
Transparency and accountability, what does that look like in practice?
It means ensuring that we understand how these AI systems are being built, what data they're being trained on, and what safeguards are in place to prevent misuse. We need clear guidelines and regulations for developers and mechanisms for holding them accountable for the actions of their AI agents.
So no more black boxes. We need to be able to understand how these AI systems are making decisions and who's responsible for those decisions.
Exactly. Along with transparency and accountability, we also need to focus on education and public engagement.
Education and engagement, what role do they play in shaping a positive future for AI?
We need to make sure that everyone, not just the tech elite, understands the potential benefits and risks of AI agents. We need to have open and honest conversations about the ethical and societal implications of these technologies, and we need to involve the public in the decision-making process.
So it's not just about the developers and policymakers, it's about everyone having a voice in shaping the future of AI.
Right. It's a complex and challenging task, but it's one we need to undertake together. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're actively creating through our choices, our actions, and our conversations.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI agents, what's the key takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they encounter these technologies in more and more aspects of their lives?
I think the most important thing is to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay curious. Learn as much as you can about AI agents, ask questions, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo.
Right. The future of AI is not something that's happening to us. It's something we're all actively shaping.
So let's make sure we're shaping a future where AI agents are a force for good in the world, a future where these powerful technologies are used to enhance our lives and solve some of the most pressing challenges facing humanity.
That's it for this deep dive into the world of AI agents. We covered a lot of ground, but as always, this is just the beginning of the conversation. Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.